All right, so we're recording now. Ashley, do me a favor.
Yes.
Introduce yourself. We got most of the people in here are in my coaching program. We do have a local team leader who's lurking. His name's David Heyer. You feel free to say whatever you want to him, and if he needs to be harassed, you feel free to do it. It's open game. And then Aaron Lim is my virtual assistant from Cyberbacker. The guy's amazing. So
Awesome.
there you go. So go ahead. Now, floor is yours. I'm shutting up.
Cool. Let's get started. So, John, thanks for giving me the shout out. I am Ashley. I am a productivity coach here in Colorado, Littleton, Colorado. That's just south of Denver. Let's see. I am a coach first, a real estate agent second. So my background has been in over 10 years of coaching, starting with athletics, then corporate America, and now real estate. My first year real estate, I closed 12 pieces of business. Second year, we closed 30, and we are on track to close 80 this year. I got to give John a shout out, guys. John came and coached my group coaching class. What was that, 3 weeks ago? Probably about 3 weeks ago, and did a fantastic job. You guys have a true leader here. I hope you guys see that. John has an amazing story about his leadership, his motivation, how he inspires himself and others. So you inspire.
Checks in the mail, Ashley. I thank you for that.
I thank you. Thank you for coming and talking to our class. That was fantastic. So I do want to just jump right in. I will let you guys know that this is a participatory class today. So I'm going to be asking questions. Please come back at me with some answers. There is no bad questions. There are no bad answers. Whatever's in your brain, share it with me. I'd love to hear it. I'd like to see, let me pull up all your faces so I can see all you guys. If you can share your screen, most of you are, I appreciate that. I'm going to ask for you to raise your hand. How many of you guys know what a 135 and a 411 is? Raise your hand if you know what it is. All right, I see some hands up. I see some people who are going to learn lots today. That's exciting.
We got some real new ones on here today, Ashley. This is awesome.
I love it. Oh, this is a great class. This is a great class to start with. So of those people that raised their hand and said, okay, yep, I know what a 411 is. I know what a 135 is. Raise your hand if you are currently using a 135 or a 411. Let me see a raise of hands here. I don't see a single one. This is going to be an amazing.
Mine's on the door behind me.
Yes, I love it, John. I love it.
I'm going to redo it in this class. Active participation.
I love it. I'll tell you guys, mine's right here in my journal. It comes with me everywhere. So I always practice what I preach. If I'm teaching you something, I'm doing it too, okay? So let's jump right into what a 135 is. That's where we're going to start off with. Now, I understand there's about 50% of you who don't even know what the heck I'm talking about right now. So I'm going to slow it down for you guys. Tell me, who knows the Millionaire Real Estate Agent? Yeah? Very important man wrote this, right? How about the one thing? Yeah? Good. Very important man wrote this one too, right? It's the same guy. So what we're going to teach from today is from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent and from the One Thing book. And that means that what you're going to learn today is off of studies and science that's been proven to help people be successful in their businesses, not just real estate, in their businesses. So let's just start with your 135 or your GPS. This is a document that is your business plan. Now, what I love about the 135 is when, I don't know about you guys, but before I got into real estate, I would hear business plan and I would like go hide in a corner or like whatever I needed to do to get away from this idea of a business plan. Anybody else feel the same way? Like business plan is pretty daunting. Yeah. Well, here's what's exciting. Most business plans that we think about are 13, 15, 27 pages long. Here's the problem. When you have a 13, 14, 27 page page long business plan, how many of you really know your business plan? I wouldn't. So Gary Keller said, clarity is power. And let's create a business plan that's one page. What do y'all think about having a one-page business plan? I like it. So this is what your business plan looks like. It's called a GPS or a 135. G stands for goal. This is the one thing that we're going to knock out, our one goal for our business plan. Then you have your priorities or pillars. And your priorities or pillars is, where am I going to go find what I need to find for that goal? Where do I need to focus in order to achieve that goal? And then we have S for strategies. What are the 5 things that I'm going to do, the 5 tactics I'm going to put in place to fulfill my priority, to then fulfill my goal? So goal, priority, and strategies. We also hear 135. That just means there's 1 goal, 3 priorities, and 5 strategies. Any questions on the outline of a business plan?
So Ashley, would you use the 135 for multiple different sections of your life?
Oh, John, I love that question. I love that you asked it, because the answer is 100% yes. If we look at my 135s, I got 3 of them, right? So if I pull them up here, I'm going to grab them real quick. So there's 3 things that are very, very important to me. The first thing that's very, very important to me is my personal real estate business. So I have a 135 for my real estate business. The next thing that's very, very important to me is my productivity coaching program. So I have a 135 for my productivity coaching program. And then the last thing that's really, really important to me is my personal life. So I have a 135 for my personal goals. Absolutely. You want to take more listings in the next 3 months? Create a business plan around it. Great question.
Love it.
All right, I'm going to start with our goal, because that's the first thing on our 135. And Aaron, were you the one who are sharing the documents for us?
Yes.
Thank you, Aaron. So Aaron sent out a Google Drive link for all of you guys to have. All of these documents that we talk about are inside of that link. So feel free to pull up that link, start looking at the documents, start making notes in them, however best works for you. So I know that you guys have a great coach here, John, who has really helped you guys identify what's important to you, or why you got into real estate. Why did I start this journey of real estate sales? And that all comes from a higher purpose or a higher mission, right? I like to say real estate sales is just our vehicle to fulfill our life mission, right? Write that down. Real estate sales is just your vehicle to fulfill your life mission. So I want to ask you, what is your life mission? I'd love to hear one of y'all share. What is the mission?
Valerie, you've had a few hours to think about this.
Actually, for me, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to help people. So I just retired last July after 17 years as a volunteer firefighter.
Wow. So you use firefighting as a vehicle to help fulfill your life mission, to help people. And now you said, you know what, I want to do the same for real estate. So then let me ask you, Valerie, how many people do you need to help this year to feel like—
Sorry, Ashley, that was Sheila that was talking. Valerie unmuted or didn't unmute in time.
Sheila, I like you. You're quick. So my question is, how many homes do you need to help people buy and sell this year in order to feel like you fulfilled your life mission? So that's question number 1.
I don't have a number because I want to help people, but I don't have a specific number because my focus is more, I'm a little weird because my focus is more on helping the 55 plus population and not having them be taken advantage of. So I don't have a number in mind as far as sales because my focus is more in the helping side of it, the contribution. Does that make sense?
Sheila, I love it. And let me challenge you on that question, Sheila. If you were only able to help one family this year in that specific world you're talking about, would it feel like enough?
Probably, depending on, it's such a loaded question because it would depend on their need and how much I was able to help. And if by helping that one family, I was able, kind of like a pebble in a pond, where I was able to increase the ripples to help others in the long term.
I love that. So I would challenge you to keep thinking about that, Sheila. How many people do I need to help this year to feel like I'm fulfilling my life mission of helping people? If just helping one person, I felt like I did my job, then you could sell 1 unit this year, wipe off your hands and say, I'm good to go. I did what I needed to do. Or perhaps you want to help 20 people change their lives this year. If I could help 20 people change their life every year for the next 10 years, what kind of legacy would I leave? So I challenge you guys to think about that. What is your life mission? And what do you need to do as a real estate agent this year to fulfill that life mission? Now, you may not have the answer for me right now, right here and then, but I'm going to challenge you to write something down. So on your note paper, on your Scratch 135, wherever you're taking notes, write down, what do you need to accomplish this year in real estate to take you a step further in your life mission? When I say this year, I mean by the end of 2020. We got, how many months do we have, John? 5?
4.5 months left, Ashley. 4.5 months.
4.5 months left. Man. All right, now I'm gonna challenge.
Which really means a month and a half, right?
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna challenge you all to put a number to the piece of paper. So now that we've talked about, okay, what do I need to accomplish in my real estate career this year in order to be effective in my mission, let's turn that into a number. And I want you to turn that into units. How many units do I need to close this year in order to take a step towards my life mission? So perhaps you put a figure down. Maybe you put, I need to make $100,000 by the end of the year. I want you guys to take that, divide it by your commission, and give me your unit goals. So I'll give you guys just a few moments, and then when you're ready, when you have your unit goal written down, go ahead and share it with me.
Right, I have a number.
Go ahead, Raina.
No, my goal is closing 12 deals this year. This is my first year with the license. So are you ready for close 4? I have 2 in process, so I basically need 6 more before the end of the year.
Love it. Raina, your goal is to close 12 in your first year. Awesome goal. And your goal is to get 6 more by the end of the year because you're already halfway there.
Yes.
Great. I love it. Raina, thank you for sharing. I want at least one other person to share.
Not with a lack of ambition, but I was thinking 4 in 4 months.
4 in 4 months. Hey, that's easy to keep track of, right? 1 a month.
And Ashley, Ralph has been with us for a whopping 4.5 days. He just got his license, and he's got his first listing coming tomorrow.
That's what I'm talking about. There you go. We should give Ralph a round of applause. That's fantastic. Good job,
Thanks.
Ralph.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right, so we all have our goal written down. I'm going to close blank units by the end of 2020. Now the question is how? We have all these numbers written down. Okay, I'm going to close 12. I'm going to close 4. I'm going to close 7. Great. What do I do? How? Right? The answer is here for you, and the answer is very simple. There's 3 different ways. Now, we're moving into your priorities now. So if we take a look back at your 135, we've completed your 1, your goal. Now we're going to talk about how. How am I going to close those units, which are those priorities? And so let me ask you guys, how many of you have read the MREA? I don't see all your faces anymore, so if y'all can chat with me, it'd be helpful.
That would be almost everybody. There's a couple new ones that haven't yet, but pretty much everybody has. We do that in our book club. So
fantastic. So you guys know about the touch programs, correct?
Everyone should be nodding their head, including you, Ralph. We talked about that yesterday in Ignite.
Yeah.
I'd show you, but mine's taped to my desk.
Love it, Sheila. Staple to the desk.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Sorry.
Ralph's like, I got it now. I got it. Okay. So our contacts, the people that we're in a two-way conversation with, AKA our sphere of influence, how many times should we be touching them?
36.
36 times. Very nice. So I'm going to define a few things here before we start getting into your priorities or pillars. Your priorities is where you're going to go get the business. And the first place that we all know that's the best place to go get business is our sphere of influence. People that already know us, they like us, and they trust us. And we already know how to communicate with that sphere of influence through a 36 touch. Now, let me ask you, when we do communicate with our sphere of influence on a 36 touch, what should our conversion rate be? For every blank people in our database, we should get blank pieces of business. Do we know?
6%.
Come on, Valerie, unmute yourself. You know the answer to this. I know you do. You were paying attention all week. We covered it.
I think we covered that on Tuesday and I was driving.
It might have been Monday.
Wasn't it? So sorry.
Valerie!
How many people do you need in your database to get 20 pieces of business?
100? Was it? No. I don't remember. Oh my gosh.
Valerie, you're shooting in the dark here.
I know.
All right, guys.
I know what day that was on, but I can't remember.
We all have our pens and paper out. This is going to be your favorite new number. We'll never forget this ever again. All right, here it goes. Drum roll. For every 10 people in your database, you should see one piece of business.
Closing.
Very nice. So is there any other pillar or any other place that you could go work for real estate sales and get a higher conversion?
Without the use of a gun or excessive force?
Without the use of a gun or excessive force? The answer is no. There's nowhere else we can convert as high. So what does that mean? It should be our first priority, right? So when we're building out our business plan, we're saying, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work my sphere of influence. We don't earn the right to go work any other business until we've effectively worked that sphere of influence that day, because that's where we're going to have the highest conversion. Why would I go work on a piece of on a pillar that converts at a 1 to 100 when I haven't worked on my pillar that converts at a 1 to 10? Make sense? I'm hoping Ned head nods. Wade, yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're getting the head nods. You're getting the head nods.
Yes.
It's,
all
it's
right.
the old 80-20 rule.
All right, guys. So we got our sphere of influence. So every single one of you should have written down priority 1 sphere of influence. Now, your sphere of influence, they're considered a contact. Write this down. A contact is somebody you're having a two-way conversation with. Again, a contact is somebody I'm having a two-way conversation with. This means if I call them, that they answer their phone and we have a conversation. Or perhaps if I text them, they're going to text me back. Or if I jump on Facebook and I comment on their post, they're going to comment back. Somebody who I know if I reach out, one way or another, they'll communicate back with me. Okay? That's a contact. A lead is somebody that we have a one-way conversation with. Meaning I'm reaching out to you, I'm calling you, I'm texting you, I'm Facebook messaging you, I'm doing everything in the world. I'm sending you mail, I'm sending you everything, and I'm not hearing back from you. That's a lead. Now this is important because you're gonna work both contacts and leads. Your contacts are your priority number 1, your sphere of influence, the ones who convert at a 1 to 10. Your leads are going to be your second or third priority that you're going to work if you can't get enough business from your sphere of influence. Now, let me ask you guys, how many of y'all, let's do a little exercise. I love this exercise. If you go on your phone and go to your contacts, okay, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom of your contacts, there's a number at the bottom. Share your number with me.
They know this exercise. This is awesome.
Ah,
I
we
love
did
it.
it.
No, Ashley, this is great because that way they know that I'm not just pulling crap out of my head. You know, it's just not coming from the sky. This is validation. Thank
That's
you.
right. That's right.
I have 1,946 contacts.
646?
Oh, no, 1946.
1946. Julia, wow. Can
That's a
anybody
large
beat
number.
1946?
Yeah, 1,000. Yeah, that's 8 years of sales here, so it's all.
Nice.
There it is. Awesome, Julian.
728, but 10% is probably pizza places from the eastern half of the country.
Okay, all right, I love it. 728, 19, 20, 26. I already forgot Julian's. It's so
1946. That's crazy. That's
So
like
Jillian,
5
I'll give you
cell
10
phones.
grand for your phone right now.
Yeah, right.
They're all here too, most of them.
Jillian, don't take that. You're going to make a lot more than 10 grand.
That's funny.
All right, so if we convert, let's talk about that. I heard, I can't remember who it was, but you made such a great point that, okay, I have 728 in my phone, but probably 10% of them is the pizza guy, right? So let's just kill 10% of our phone. And so I want you to take whatever number you have in your phone and take 10% out. Then I want to take what you have left, and I want you to tell me what 10% of that would be. So Jillian, I want to hear yours. What's 10%?
10% of my total number is
Yep.
194. So 1946 minus 194 is 1752.
All right, so you
180.
have 10% is 194, right? So if we
Yeah.
convert our database at 10%, then that means you're going to get 194 pieces of business.
That's crazy.
How much would you make on 194 pieces of business?
A lot of money.
What is your guys' average commission down there?
I don't know. I haven't got that far yet.
$10,000.
Yep.
$10,000.
So what's the math? 194 times $10,000. Jillian, how much money are you making this year?
$19,400.
Add a zero.
Okay, 199, 400.
So take
No.
194.
Y'all.
Write this down. Grab a pen. Write down the number 1, followed by a comma,
Mm-hmm.
followed by a 9, a 4, and a 0, and a comma,
Mm-hmm.
and a 0, and a 0, and a 0.
Oh,
That is the commission that is in your phone today.
that's crazy.
Julian, what is that number?
1,940,000.
Anybody want to make $2 million in the next year? Go ask Jillian for all of her contacts.
Crazy.
Isn't that, you guys think of that. What is in your database? 728. Let's just call it 700 for, who shared with me? I already forgot who it was. Who had the 728 in their database?
Ralph.
Ralph. So 700 in your database, multiply that by $10,000. Would you like to make $700,000? No, wait.
Of course.
Sorry,
Yeah, it's 650 because we deducted 10%. So yeah, it's
650. Okay.
deal. Yep.
Divide that by 10. 65 deals.
Yep.
Times 10,000.
Yep.
What? I can do this.
650K.
$650,000
a yes.
in the next year. So a lot of you guys, we're talking about closing. Our goal is 12 deals. Our goal is 4 deals. Our goal is 8 deals. In your phone, you have those already. Do you see that? Now here's the caveat. I'm sure you guys have been made aware of this. This conversion is successful after 3 years of doing it. 3 years of a 36 touch, we converted a 1 to 10. Now let me ask you, does that mean your first and second year you're not going to convert any business?
No.
No. So if we have over 1,000 people in our phone, 400 people in our phone, we're still going to be able to convert a portion of that business. Perhaps it's a 1 to 20, perhaps it's a 1 to 15. So that's why sphere of influence is the first place to go for your business. Okay. Now we have some options here. I'm going to work my sphere of influence to get business, but perhaps because it's my first year or I haven't done a 36 touch for 3 years, perhaps I need to go find some business elsewhere, not just in my sphere. So we need to choose 2 other pillars where we can generate business from. These 2 pillars are going to be the leads, the people that we are in a one-way conversation with. We're going to reach out until they finally answer us and we can move them into our sphere of influence as a contact. Okay, tell me a little bit about some places where people go or perhaps where you go to generate new leads.
Facebook. Clearly.
Facebook. Awesome. So social media, that's a huge pillar right now for lead generation, right? I'm sure you guys know what's happening with our Facebook ads. You guys, Facebook ads are typically between $10 and $15 a lead. Okay. We inside of Command are generating Facebook leads for under $1. It's crazy. It like makes my mind go, what? It's insane. So social media, absolutely. We could generate leads from social media. So we got our pillar number 1, which would be our sphere of influence. We have our pillar number 2, perhaps for you it's social media. Perhaps you're like, I love working social media. I love working leads online. That's my jam. That's my second pillar. Give me another pillar.
Open houses.
Open houses, Abigail. Open houses convert pretty well here in Denver Metro. We have a conversion of a 1 to 30 of open houses here in Denver. Are you guys about the same?
That's a good number.
I like it.
A 3% conversion at open houses is awesome. Ours is less than 1%.
Less than 1%. Okay, so you guys are going between a 1 to 100. So that means open houses, for every 100 people that come through your open house, 1 should be able to become a client. Okay, give me another pillar. What else do we love to do in Florida?
Expired listings.
Expired listings. There you go. Somebody who's already raised their hand saying, I want to sell my house, right? Let's go after them. What do you guys convert expired listings at? What is Florida's average?
John, I'm gonna pass the baton to John to tell me that one. What's the average?
You catch me when Angie is texting me other questions about her deal going on. I'm sorry, Ashley. What's the question? I'm recording this, so everyone's going to come back and laugh at me later or whatever. What's the question again, Ashley?
It's us trying to juggle it all, right?
Yep.
So in Florida, what's your guys' conversion rates on expired listings? How many do we got to call to get a client?
On expired listings?
Yep.
You want me to pull the spreadsheet out? Now I know why Wade's calling on me. I was able to generate a contact, 2-way conversation about real estate with every 5 phone numbers I dialed. I converted 2 of them to a lead. Every 2 leads generated an appointment, and every 3 appointments generated 2 closings. So my dialing, for anyone who wants real numbers and wants to know what it's like, every time I dialed the phone, I made $15.42. I can dial 70 phone numbers an hour. My prospecting time for expireds is $1,050 an hour. And what else do you need to know?
Love it, John. So there's some awesome numbers. Y'all, let's just give John a round of applause for knowing his numbers, right? That's a real business owner.
You're not kidding.
I got to teach that to these guys so they can understand once you taste it. It's like, oh my God.
That's right. It's so empowering.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, so we've talked about expireds, we talked about open houses, we talked about social media. What's another pillar that we could go generate business from?
For sale by owner.
For sale by owner. Love it. That's a great pillar. Give me another one.
I mean, I might be old school, but I just like networking. I mean, just basically when you're out and about, I mean, it's kind of hard to do now with COVID, but pre-COVID, and hopefully down the road when you're out and about eating at a restaurant or you're sitting at a bar and talking to people, especially in Cape Coral, like there's so many people coming and going that I just like meeting people old fashioned, I guess, too.
Love it, Jillian. We're going to go back to the basics, right? standing in line at the grocery store, waiting to be sat at the restaurant. You got somebody standing right there next to you. Say hello. Love it. That's a great pillar for us to use, especially if we have that outgoing communicative personality. I want one more pillar. What's one more idea?
Circle dialing.
Referrals.
Circle dialing. Abigail, that was my jam when I first started. Loved circle dialing. Here in Denver, we get about a 1 to 100 on circle dialing. All right, so does everybody have 2 other areas where they could go get business from? 2 written down where they're like, I think I could get into that. Anybody need to jump on and say, hey, wait a minute, I didn't like anything you said. I need some help.
Nope.
Awesome. Sometimes we got that. I don't want to circle that. I don't want to do open houses. You want me to call expireds? No, right?
I have a question. What is circle dialing? Is that just like cold calling?
Jillian, that's a great question. Abigail, were you the one who said circle dialing? Who said circle dialing?
Yes, it was me.
Abigail, have you jumped into circle dialing? Do you want to tell a little about it?
I have not, but I intend to. But basically, it's I mean, if you have, let's say, a property that just recently sold in an area, you can call around the neighborhood, and it is kind of like cold calling, but you're calling within a specific area.
Very well explained, Abigail. All right, so we've talked about our pillars. We know what we're going to do now. We have our sphere of influence where we're converting at a 1 to 10, and we're working them first thing for the day. Then your priority number 2 is your second piece of lead generation business that you feel is going to convert at the highest level outside of your sphere of influence. Then your third priority should be your third lead generation lever that perhaps converts at that 1 to 100 range. So pillars that convert higher, we're talking about expireds and for sale by owners convert at a fairly high level, as well as open houses. What do those 3 things have in common?
They've raised their hand. They've
They're-
identified
Yes, who said
themselves.
that? Who said they raised their hand?
Wade.
Wade, they've all raised their hand and said, I am looking to buy or sell a home. So of course they're going to convert a little bit higher than the rest of the lead generation, right? So pillar number 1, our highest conversion. Pillar number 2, our second highest conversion. Pillar number 3, our third highest conversion. We work them in order of priority. You earn the right to go to the second pillar once you've completed the work for that day on the first one, so on and so forth. So the next thing is your strategies. I know what my goal is. I know where I'm going to go target some conversations in order to achieve that goal. But now I need some strategies around how to get this done. Okay? If my goal is to close 12 units by the end of the month, yeah, let's do it. By the end of the year, then I would need to create 12 pieces of business for my 3 pillars. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about your sphere of influence, pillar number 1. We talked about this already. What's our strategies for pillar number 1? How many touches?
36.
36. So when I'm building out my pillar number 1, it's just a 36 touch. It should add up to 36. So perhaps my first strategy, now we got to have SMART goals, SMART strategies. They need to be specific, measurable, achievable, they need to be relevant, and they need to be in a time frame. So I may say that for my first portion of my 36 touch, I'm going to send 12 of those neighborhood nurtures, right? Every month they get a neighborhood nurture. That's cool because I don't even have to do anything. That strategy, I just plug them and that strategy's done, right? What other SMART plans can we use for our 36 touch inside a command? Have you all checked out the birthday SMART plan? You guys, your birthday SMART plan is 4 touches. and you don't do anything. I lied, you do a few things. 4 touches. Your first touch is 3 days before their birthday. It'll remind you to write them a happy birthday card. Then a day before their birthday, it'll remind you to, oh no, the day of the birthday, it'll remind you to post on their social media. It'll send a text out automatically for you saying happy birthday. And then also it'll remind you to give them a call and say happy birthday. 4 touches right there. It's magical. What's another way that we could do, what are some other touches that we could have for our database?
Direct mail.
Ralph, love it, direct mail. So maybe every month I'm gonna send a postcard in the mail with what's happening in their neighborhood and homes that I've recently sold. Love it. How many times, did I say once a month? Do we wanna do that once a month, Ralph?
You said once a month.
Ralph, how many times?
And you said maybe. I'm still looking for which category that would fall under.
So I love the question, Ralph. Let's go back to our GPS. We're under pillar number 1. We're working our sphere of influence. Strategy number 1, we talked about perhaps that would be your monthly neighborhood nurture and command. Strategy number 2, perhaps that would be your birthday smart plan. Strategy number 3, perhaps we're sending out a monthly or maybe bi-monthly direct mail. What's another strategy? We got to add up to 36.
Emails.
I love it. Emails. We can send out a monthly email, a bi-monthly email. Now I see I got 15 people on this call, and I feel like I've been talking to the same 6.
Valerie wants to talk. She's already making hand and arm signals. She's doing it, so I'm gonna give her the
Instead
credit.
of phone call, like, you know, leave them a message if you don't get in touch with them or whatnot. Just a personal, if it's your sphere of influence.
Valerie, you hit on one of the most important and most important strategies. A 36 touch is nothing without a personal touch. Personal phone call, at a minimum, at least once a quarter.
And
What about
Valerie Moran,
holiday
this is your
stuff?
life. What is the topic of those conversations? What's the acronym? It might look like First on Race Day if you're a fan of Henry Ford.
Oh, you guys talked about this morning before I hopped on because I heard the end of it.
Help her out.
I was wondering what that was too. I was going to reach out to Diane and ask.
Family, occupation,
Okay. Relationships
recreation,
and
dreams.
recreation. Okay. Very good. I love it.
Get at least one of them in every conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat that? Family, recreation, dreams.
Family,
occupation.
occupation, recreation, dreams. Ford.
And sometimes the O also stands for organizations.
Yep.
So like for John, it's Rotary.
Thank you, Wade. Very nice.
I
All right,
remember
guys.
that every
So-
once in a while, John.
Wade, you sound like a smart one. I got my eye on you, Wade.
No. I'm just a
He's
reformed
blushing.
HR person.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about pillar number 1. Now I'm going to give you some homework. Your homework is to collaborate with each other to come up with a full 36 touch. So you add up all those strategies and it'll equal the 36. Pillar number 2, somebody shout out what their pillar number 2 is going to be.
Ashley, can I ask one question on that?
Yes.
So on the 36th touch, your recommendation is to have your idea of a 36 touch, use the smart plans, but do maybe 4 different smart plans per contact as opposed to create what I'll say one master smart plan and try to program that for the 36 touch. Is that?
Yeah, Wade, that's a great question. I prefer my 36 touch to be a mix of different smart plans. But that doesn't mean that I'm right. You may find that building out a full smart plan is perfect for you. I think what I came into when I tried to do that is by the time I was done building the plan, it didn't match the rules. We were out of
Okay.
rules. You may run into that.
Okay.
Great question. All right, pillar number 2. Who's going to tell me what their pillar number 2 is going to be?
Social media.
Social media, Jillian. All right, let's build out some strategies for social media. So again, we're on pillar number 2. We're going to talk about social media, and we're going to talk about the 5 strategies in order to convert that social media in those social media leads into contacts into business. So we all have read the MREA, right? You've all read it?
Not yet.
What's the conversion for leads? How many times do we need to touch a lead to convert them?
5? No,
We
10.
got 5. We got 10.
10.
Let's go up a little more.
20.
Okay, let's
19?
go down a little bit. Say it
Is
again.
it 19?
19. There it is. Sheila. All right.
No, I was wrong. Somebody else was right.
Oh,
I couldn't
gosh, you all
remember if it
sound
was 16 or
similar.
19.
All right, 19 touches in order to convert a lead to a contact. So what do you think should be a part of your strategies inside of your leads? We added up a 36 touch for our strategies for our sphere. So what do we think our strategies should be for our leads?
Well, if it's social media driven and with the way that people are very instant gratification oriented these days, see it pop up on your Facebook or your social media lead, you need to follow up like ASAP.
I love it. So perhaps strategy number 1 is that every lead is followed up within 5 minutes of clicking on our ad, right? So that's touch number 1. We got 1 touch. Give me another strategy.
Daily posting, daily content posting.
Okay, we're going to post every single day on our social media. Do you guys know what is the best content posting equation?
Is it 4 and 1 or
4 to 1, yeah. So that means for every 4 personal posts that you post on your Facebook, you're posting 1 business related post. Okay, kids, vacation, just got my nails done, love my life. Oh, here's this awesome listing that I am putting on the market. Whoop. All right, what's another strategy?
Ashley, and from that, you're saying from your personal page or your business page is still a 4 to 1?
You know, I think that's a controversial question. I'll tell you my perspective of it. Business as well, because I want people to stay on my business page and I want to bring them content that they'll love to hear about. So they probably are on my page because they want to know about the market. They want to know what's going on, but they also want to enjoy my page. So I'm going to make sure I put some fun stuff on there as well. Great question, Wade. All right, give me another strategy.
What about like posting like community pages, like local pages, like Naples groups or some stuff like that, and showing that you're out there? Like I belong to all like the Cape Coral foodies and Naples foodie groups. So just anytime I go anywhere great and have like a meal, I post it, and then anyone that likes it, I like reach out to them and like their comments and stuff. So they're just seeing you constant as like a top, not admin, but like a top commenter or top member of that group.
Love it. So Jillian, you're going to go at an angle where you want to become one of the known top members of the group, one of the biggest contributors of the group. And then we talked a little bit about, well, how is that going to help my real estate business? What do I got to do to convert that? Well, all the people that are consistently commenting, liking, or posting on my comments, likes, and posts, then I'm going to take those people, throw them in my database, and put them on a 19 touch.
Okay.
Right? Connect with them. Love that, Jillian.
Do you then take those, just out of curiosity, because this is all new, this is like the first kind of training I've had and I haven't read the book yet, do you then take those 19 people and put them in the database on command and then start doing the touches there and like the smart plans?
Yes, guys. So there's 2 different ways that you can organize your database when it comes to contacts and leads. You can put all their data in, click done, and they will be considered a contact in your database. Or when you put all their data in, you can click mark as a lead, and now they're a lead in your database. So you can organize your database to go, okay, I'm working on my sphere of influence today. I'm going to look at all my contacts. And then you go, okay, now I'm going to move over to my leads, and I'm going to start doing that 19 touch. You click on all your leads, and you can see your whole database as leads. Good question, Jillian. All right, guys, I'm going to give it to you again. I'm going to allow you guys to take this home for homework, collaborate with each other, come up with 3 more. I think we got 3 strategies. Come up with 2 more strategies if you're doing social media. All right, give me one more, more traditional real estate pillar. What's going to be our 3rd pillar?
I send out handwritten notes all the time.
Handwritten notes, Sheila, I love that. That would be a strategy.
Open house.
You see that? Abigail, open houses. All right, tell me a strategy for open houses.
Well, it kind of ties into to my priority 2 or pillar 2, which would be social media. So marketing them on social media beforehand.
Great, love that. So they're gonna go on social media beforehand. Let's make it a specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed goal. How can we give it more specificity?
A week before, start marketing the open house.
Love it. Okay, a week before, I'm gonna post it on social media. Where is it gonna go on social media?
I'm going to post it on my business page and share it to my personal page.
Love it. So 1 week before I hold my open house, it goes on my business page and my personal page. Right. Every time I do an open house. That's a great strategy. Give me another strategy, guys. How about a commitment to how often we're going to hold open houses? Let's say of my goal to close 12 units, I want 4 of those to come from the open houses. And so that means that perhaps if I convert my open houses at a 1 to 100, I'm probably going to need to hold at least 1 open house a weekend. That would be a great strategy.
By the way, Ashley, that conversion rate on the 1 in 100 is for selling that home at an open house, not for the acquisition of a buyer. It's for selling that home.
Yeah. Got
So
it. Okay,
I
so
apologize for incorrect information.
No, it wasn't incorrect. It was just misheard. So that means that you guys probably have a good, pretty decent conversion rate for taking a buyer or a listing at an open house, whether it's that home or not that home, right? Guys, open houses, MREA is about taking listings, right? When you hold open houses, you're not trying to get buyers. You're trying to take listings, because who comes to the open house?
Neighbors.
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 And who are neighbors? Are they buyers or sellers?
Seller.
Or
All your open houses is an interview for taking their listing. That's all it is. Your neighbors are just coming in and interviewing you. Open houses all day long for listings. Love it. All right, I always do this. I get really excited about the 135, and then I get 10 minutes to go over the 411. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it relatively fast, but we're going to get it done. So here's the 411. You can see on this side of your page, we have your annual goals, which we talked about in your GPS. This is that unit goal. So you're just going to take that unit goal from your GPS and put it right on your 411. Okay? Then we have our personal goals on the right-hand side. That's talking about that life mission again. What do we want to accomplish? Our life mission is now the vehicle to those left side goals of our unit number. Okay? Now, your 135 is what we use to execute our 411. Your 411, all your 411 does is track your numbers. Your 135 is the game plan to reach those numbers. How many of you guys have been using the goals versus actuals inside of Command? Let me open y'all up. Did anybody raise your hand? Oh, this is such a great tool. So homework number 2, jump inside of Command. Wade, you're shaking your head. You like it. Yes. So everybody go call Wade right after this call and say, what are the goals versus actual, and how do I make it happen? Wade, you can yell at me after this call.
I don't know, it may be Tuesday at command topic for people.
There you go. Love it. So your goals versus your actual, I gave you guys a little screenshot of it here. You're going to fill out this form that tells them how much you want to make, how much your expenses are, what your conversion rates are, and it's going to populate all of your numbers for this year for your business. So you can see here, I'm just going to start with contacts. We've been talking about those contacts. I need to make 20 contacts in order to set 14 appointments, in order to keep 11, in order to get 11 agreements signed, to get 11 under contract, to get 9 closed per the conversion rates I put in here. Okay. What we're going to look at for you guys is what are your conversion rates and what do you need to do for your business to close your unit goal by the end of the year. So let's just start with basic conversion rates. You guys are going to want to write this down. Okay. So on average, we talked about it a little bit with John, we're typically living in a world of a 1% conversion of a contact or a lead that's going to convert to business. Okay. So for every 100 conversations I have, one of those will turn into business. Okay. So let's just talk about at the end of the month, let's say we want to close 1 unit. Okay. That would mean I need to have 100 conversations in order to close 1 unit. Okay. Let's start from the top. Let's say I'm going to close 1 unit and let's go to the next step. If I've closed something, the next step in the pipeline is to put them under contract. Okay. Industry average is about 90% of pieces of business that go under contract will be closed. So we have a 90% conversion from under contract to closed. If you're new, you may be a little bit lower. You may be around 80%. Okay. Now let's talk about under contract to agreement signed. If we're under contract with somebody, we got to get the agreement signed first. So from agreement to going under contract, industry average is about, I would say in Denver, Colorado, it's about agreement to under contract is about 90%. John, what are you guys seeing out there?
Well, I wish it was higher than that because I'm one of that 10%. I just had one of them fall apart this morning. We're actually seeing somewhere a little less than 90% are staying together right now. We're starting to run into a couple issues surrounding appraisals and properties not appraising out correctly.
Got it.
And we're having issues with lenders being able to meet deadlines.
Got it. Okay, so maybe we're going from agreement to from under contract to close, it sounds like maybe the industry is more at an 85%.
Yep, that's a good number.
In Florida. Now, getting that agreement signed, so that means we took a listing agreement or we took a buyer agreement. And from getting that agreement to getting them under contract, industry average is about 90% here. Perhaps with everything going on down in Florida, we're closer to 85. All right, so you're going to make a note in there, 85%. You convert from under agreement to under contract at 85%. Okay, so let's talk about that 1 unit that we wanted to close. If we wanted to close that 1 unit, that means that in that month, we need to make sure we have 1.1 units under contract because we need to account for, 1.2 units under contract because we need to account for that 20% fallout rate. Okay. So if we need 1.2 units under contract and we know that we have an 80% conversion from agreement signed to under contract, that means that we need to have 1.4 agreements signed in order to close 1 unit. All right, so let's go from agreement to appointment kept. We kept the appointment. We went on that buyer listing presentation. We're at about 70% will actually sign an agreement. As a new agent, if you are new, if this is your first year, you're probably closer to 50%. So let's just play it safe. If we need 1.3, what did we say, 1.4 agreements signed, then that means we need to go on 3 appointments at a 50% conversion. Now, if we have our appointment kept, we're going to go backwards to setting the appointment. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I sometimes have some flaky friends. I have some flaky family where they're like, hey, I want to buy. Like, what do we need to do? And I'm like, awesome. You know what? What most of my clients find valuable is that we sit down, have a conversation. So when the time's right, you're set up for success to get going. That sounds perfect. Let's sit down and talk about it. And then we like, go through our day, and then tomorrow comes up, and then I'm like, hey, just confirming our appointment. What can I grab you for coffee? And they're like, oh yeah, I can't make it. Like, do any of y'all have friends and family like that? Or is it just me? Yeah. So we have to account for that. We have to account for our flaky friends and family and leads. And so appointment kept to appointment set, or from setting that appointment to going on that appointment, industry average is about a 70% conversion. As new agents, it's closer to 50%. Okay, so that means if we needed to go on if we needed to keep 3 appointments, we probably need to set 6. If we set 6 appointments, we'll probably go on 3. Now we go from appointment set to contacts. This is where we're converting at that 1 to 100 all the way to the end. So if I'm setting 6 appointments, how many conversations do I need to have to get 6 appointments? This is where the numbers are all over the board, guys. John, do you have a good number?
How many conversations do I need to have for 6 appointments?
Yep.
About 41.
About 41. So what is
Because
that?
I track them a little bit differently. To me, leads are someone who have identified themselves as doing business. So I go conversations to leads to appointments. It's about 41.
Got it. Conversations to leads to appointments, about 41. So that's a 6.8% conversion. We're converting at 6% there. So that let's call that, what would that be? 41 conversations, you said?
Yep.
So let's call that 41 conversations that I need to have in order to set 6 appointments. So here's what I'm putting down in my 411. On my month, I'm writing everything we just talked about. I'm gonna write conversations, 41.
By the way, Ashley, not to put too fine a point on it, but the conversion rate at that point from appointments to listings becomes 15%.
15%.
Yeah,
Love
6
it.
over 41, 14.6, 15%.
15%. That's awesome. So I'm putting down contacts. I'm having 41 contacts for the month. I need to set 6 appointments. I need to go on 3. I need to get 1 agreement signed. I need to put 1 under contract, and I need to close 1.
So quick question for you, Ashley.
Yes.
The 15th comes along and you've had 21 contacts, but you don't have any appointments. What do you do?
Ooh, guys, what do we do?
Start hustling.
Keep making calls.
Guys, this is why it's so important to track our numbers, right? Let me ask you, raise your hand if you're a business owner. All y'all's hands should be up. You're a business owner, right? You're running a real estate business, you're a business owner. Let me ask you, do business owners track their numbers?
Yes.
Yeah. Should you be tracking your numbers? Yeah. That's what your 411's about, guys. I'm going to say, okay, these are what I think my numbers are. This is what I think my conversion rate is. But every week I'm going to enter in what I'm actually doing versus what my goals are. And then I'm going to look and start to learn what my true conversion is. By the end of the month, I can find out, awesome, I can actually convert contacts at a 10%. I can do less work. Or, oh shoot, I'm converting appointment kept to appointment gone on at only 30%. Now I know exactly what to tell John I need some coaching on. All right, so we're tracking how many people we had a conversation with, how many appointments we set, how many appointments we actually went on, how many agreements we got signed, what we got under contract, and what we got closed. And we're going to track that every week. So if I put it down for the month, I just divide it by 4 and plug it in each week. Now I know that I'm already over my time, so I'm not going to take much more. I just got one more conversation that I'd love to have with you guys, which is goals versus commitments. We had a great conversation today about how you're going to come up with 3 pillars, 5 strategies to have those 41 conversations to go to where you can close 1 unit. Now, we can take this information, play with it for 10 minutes after we get off the call today, and then stuff it in a file and then never look at it again and then close one more unit by the end of the year if we're lucky. Or we can take this information, use it, commit to it, and build a business worth having. So let me ask you guys, what have you taken away from this class today in order to be successful in your real estate business?
Track your numbers.
Track your numbers. If that's the only thing y'all took away today, I love it.
Raina, you're my new favorite person.
Now John's gonna watch you on that. He's gonna hold you accountable. What else?
Come on, Jillian. I can see Jillian's ready to chat. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ralph.
Do a little research on conversion rates to find out like what are the most efficient approaches, you know, in making a decision. Because if I'm skipping something that has a 15% in favor of something that has a lesser than 1%, then I'm not saying to necessarily choose one over the other, but I should probably be focusing more on the one that has a higher conversion rate than on something that does not.
Great, Ralph. So prioritize our conversions.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Very nice. Give me one more.
Come on, Jillian. I can see it's on the tip of your tongue.
Well, I learned to have a lot of money in my contacts, so I got to get on that database.
That's right, Jillian.
She's
right.
spending it already.
I've been worried about Facebook posting enough, and, you know, Nick and Steve are all about like 4 posts today, this and that. But I'm like, wait a minute, I've got like almost 2 million sitting in my phone, so maybe I should spend my efforts there first. But
that's right, because Jillian, remember, your social media isn't going to convert at the level a 36 touch on those 2,000 people will. And you guys, a 36 touch on 2,000 people, you can do that all day long because command does half the work for you. Right? That's awesome.
Hey, Ashley, this was great today. Thank you.
Yes, of course. I just want to ask you guys, be accountable to somebody. Find somebody on this call that's going to help you be accountable to fill in these worksheets out. Focus on the small victories. So ask yourself, what did I do today that was awesome? And focus on that. And last but not least, my call to action is to get these 2 documents filled out and use them every day in your business. No more, what do I do today? You have it written down in a business plan. All right, Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all letting me hang out with you a little bit over an hour. And I look forward to meeting you all again soon.
thank you so much.
Ashley, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm